A lot of people, they want to become NRI. Why? Because the income of NRI is not taxable in India. Considering the high tax rates in India, becoming a NRI is the best possible option for most people who want to avoid paying taxes in India. Hi everyone, I am Karan Batra and I've been helping people set up companies in Dubai and relocate into Dubai to become NRI for more than 13 years now, and in this video I will be talking about the easiest way for Indians to become NRI. The rules regarding who is considered NRI for income tax purposes are mentioned in section 6 of the Income Tax Act. The income tax rules, they vary depending on the purpose for which the NRI left the country. If the NRI left the country for the purpose of employment, the rules are different, and if the NRI left the country for the purposes other than employment, then rules are different. I've tried to simplify all these laws for the common man to understand in this video. So, if a person left the country for the purposes other than employment, say he left India for vacation or leisure or for anything else, then the following conditions are to be satisfied. That is, he should be outside India for more than 183 days during the financial year, and number 2, he should not be in India for 60 days or more during the financial year and should not be in India for 365 days or more during the previous 4 financial years. However, if a person left the country for the purpose of employment, then there is only one condition which is to be satisfied, that he should be outside India for 183 days or more during the year. The second condition is not applicable if a person left India for the purpose of employment. Now, let's talk about the practical implications of this. As there are 2 tough conditions to be satisfied if a person left for the purposes other than employment, but there is only one condition which needs to be satisfied when a person leaves for the purpose of employment, we always recommend our clients who are relocating to Dubai to leave for the purpose of employment. And the words mentioned in the law are leaves India for the purpose of employment. So at the time of leaving the country is when we'll check what was the purpose. The purpose may change later, but what was the purpose at the time of leaving the country is what the income tax department will check, and you should have a valid proof of the same. So, if you're leaving the country for the purpose of employment, your visa should specifically mention the words employment so that you have documentary evidence that you left the country for the purpose of employment, and this document can later be submitted to the income tax department as and when required. So, when our clients, when they leave India and relocate to Dubai, we always recommend them to leave on the employment visa. Even if somebody leaves on investor visa, the words employment are specifically mentioned on the e-visa for investors as well. However, if the person leaves the country on tourist visa and then later gets it changed to an investor visa or an employment visa, then it will not work, as the words employment are not mentioned on the tourist visa. In such a case, the person will have to satisfy both the conditions to become a NRI. And it is for this reason that we tell our clients not to apply for visa on their own, as we will get them a visa issued with the words employment very specifically mentioned on it. But how do we get this done? See, we are very frank and open as to what we do, and we don't mind sharing it with anyone. So essentially, we make you the general manager or the CEO of the company which you've set up through us, and a general manager or CEO is also considered as an employee of the company despite the fact that he owns the company. So just like Mr. Mukesh Ambani is an employee of Reliance Industries despite the fact that he owns the company, similarly, you are the CEO of your own company and you also own the company. And as you are the CEO of the company, your entry visa will mention the words employment. Apart from the above mentioned laws, there are certain recent amendments as well, which I would now be talking about. To become a NRI and make the income as tax exempt, a lot of people, what they were doing was, they were very smartly managing their stay outside India in such a manner that they get to travel the world without being liable to tax in any part of the world. So what these people were doing was that they would stay 3 months in say US, then 3 months in Australia, another 3 months in say Europe, and balance 3 months in India. By doing this, they were not becoming a tax resident of any country and were not paying taxes to any country and were legally able to save taxes. The whole world had a problem with this as they were not paying any taxes anywhere. So as to tax these people, what the government has done is that they have said that if there is any person who has Indian citizenship, that is, he has an Indian passport and has total income of more than 15 lakhs from India, and he is not a tax resident of any country, then he would be deemed to be a resident but not ordinary resident of India. Moreover, as per these recent amendments, if a person who has income of more than 15 lakhs from Indian sources, he would be required to stay 246 days outside India to become an NRI. If such a person he spends more than 180 days outside India but less than 246 days, then he would be considered as a resident but not ordinary resident of India. This condition, it only applies if the income of the individual, and that too from Indian sources, is more than 15 lakhs. It does not apply if the income from Indian sources is less than rupees 15 lakhs. Both these recent amendments are applicable if the income is more than 15 lakh rupees from Indian sources. And in both these cases, I've used the words resident but not ordinary resident. Yes, apart from being a resident or a non-resident, there's another category known as resident but not ordinary resident as well. Just like for NRIs, the foreign income of resident but not ordinary resident is also tax-free in India. The only difference is that in case of an NRI, the income which is earned from business controlled in India is also tax-free, whereas in case of resident but not ordinary resident, the income earned from business controlled from India is taxable. No tax is levied in India on income earned from outside India for both NRIs as well as resident but not ordinary resident. This table, it clearly shows which type of incomes are taxable for which category of individuals. I understand that these new laws are a bit complicated for the common man to understand, especially the resident but not ordinary resident laws. As I deal with a lot of NRIs, I've researched a lot on this and I've tried to simplify and explain the law in simple words in this video. However, if these conditions are getting applicable to you, I would recommend that you sit with your chartered accountant who helped you create the Dubai company, and he'll help you create an optimal structure for your NRI status as well. If you've set up your Dubai company through us, then we would certainly be helping you comply with all these conditions. However, if you set up your company through some other chartered accountant, you should have a word with your chartered accountant and ensure that you comply with all these norms. Thank you.